So this is a very brief clip I wanted to include, and it doesn't even end in a punishment hold per se, because the ref breaks them up before the attacker gets to really insist on anything. But just this step over mechanic is something that shows up a lot in these old vintage catch wrestling, pro wrestling matches, right? When the line was still kind of blurred, as far as like you had all these catch as catch can guys migrating to pro wrestling, like in the golden age of when they first started to be fixed, you know. But in most of the cases, it's the step over mechanic is executed in a really cartoonish way with no grace. And I don't mean to say grace like a ballerina. I mean like no continuous tightness. But the way this is executed here, for my money, is actually quite good. Um, he does his step over very soon after doing a single leg pickup. And when it's a continuous execution, in the case of this video, is an example. Like you scoop up the leg, and before the guy even finishes landing, that's when you can get that step over mechanic. So modern grapplers would probably look at this and say, why would I do that? Because the bottom man's going to get a heel hook. But if you've played with doing this step over mechanic for your own leg attacks from a standing position, like if you've ever invested time in playing with it, you can see that it's a lot less cut and dry as far as saying like, oh, I'm giving this guy a heel hook. If you execute it where you get to lace your leg before the guy finishes landing, and most of his job is just like actually landing, you can set up your own entangled leg attacks from there, once you've made it a priority to keep your own foot safe and keep it pressured down where he can't turn it into a sweep. So it would not, if I were executing this, it would not look like the attacker looks like here, where he stays standing and tries to manipulate the foot. For me, I would end up dropping to my knee, or I would stomp my foot down and lower my knee and bend at the hip and continue manipulating his leg. There's a whole different set of videos I could do for the submissions that the top attacker can develop from here, but they do take an investment in troubleshooting. And frankly, if you want it to be realistic and if you want to really explore this niche kind of submission entry, you should really be doing it with someone who does know how to heel hook, just to kind of proof it against realistic heel hook attempts, because 100% the bottom player will be going for a heel hook there if he's a heel hook player, and he'll have a good chance of getting it unless you have drilled the heck out of this entry and the finishes in a way that favors you rather than the defender.